Okay, we've already given you the Space Wolf Scout video from the new Dead Silence Kill Team box set that was very kindly sent to me by Games Workshop. We are now going to move on and show you how to paint the new Tau Stealth Suits. Absolutely stunning models. And I say that from the bottom of my heart because Tau are actually one of my favorite factions. And honestly, the only thing I didn't like from their current range was the old stealth suits. I actually preferred the previous ones. The old metal ones were kind of cooler, and then they went to those kind of weird domed ones, which never really sat well with me. I didn't like the aesthetic of those. I know lots of people did. I'm not saying they're bad models, but me personally, wasn't a big fan. So when they kind of imagined them and re-brought them out in this set, I was very, very happy and excited. Now, moving on again to things that I don't like is the current color scheme for the Tau. I absolutely despise that white color scheme. I think previously they had a beautiful sandy colored scheme. It was so unique. No other army had it. No other army still has it. So I don't know why they moved away for a generic, boring white scheme. That's just my kind of personal bleeding in again. So I'm going to paint up these new stealth suits in their traditional tan colored scheme and see how they look. But before I get into it, as usual, I just want to say a big thank you to all of my active supporters, anyone out there that watches the videos, making sure that they're subscribed. Those are huge things. Making sure you're dropping comments and asking questions. Those things help people see the videos and help support the channel. It's amazing. And anyone who goes the extra mile and supports us over on Patreon. We know we've been working hard to make Patreon an awesome place to be, especially adding all those extra features in last month. So we now have obviously the private Discord server where we hold events, painting competitions and challenges and all sorts of other bits and pieces over there. You also hang out with me on a daily basis and talk about your hobby and get involved with all that. We also have extra videos every single week. We have podcast episodes every single week for you guys for being Patreon members. And of course, we do big giveaways every single month for people on the Patreon. Last month, we gave away a knight. This month, we are giving away the beginnings of a Dark Eldar army with the Realm Space box set, or the Battle Force box set. So that'll be given away to one lucky Patreon member at the end of this month. So if that excites you, please do check it out. All linked down below. Okay, let's dive in, start painting this Tau. So to me, this is a fantastic glow up. I absolutely do adore these miniatures. And to start them off, I thought I would, like, as you know, I'm going for the traditional Tau Sept color scheme, that beautiful, beautiful tan color scheme. And I really wanted to give it like a proper go out, not just like something quick and stuff. I've got a million videos on my channel on how to paint that scheme up, like super quick, like throwing on contrast and doing a quick layer. So I thought this time I would push the bar just a little bit further and try and do something a little bit kind of nicer, a little bit sharper. So it starts with a coat of Tau Light Ochre, obviously, and that's applied to all of the armor panels that you want to be that tan color scheme. You may have to do 2 thin coats to get kind of the color you're looking for. Now, I don't know whether I'm following a guide online. I'm not 100% sure whether or not they intended to begin from a black base coat. I'm obviously starting it from a wraithbone base. I thought the warmth of the wraithbone might add to the kind of sandy tan color a little bit more. So I decided to do that. I quickly blacked in all the other sections, the under armor panels, and like what bits weren't going to be armor. It just made it easier to know where the Tau Light Ochre kind of needed to go on the scheme. After this, I blocked in some Blood Angels red contrast, and just because this is the sergeant of the squad, the Shazwi of the squad, so obviously his like control node in the center of his helmet is red, and he's got like these like 2 fins on his helmet. I've done those in red, and half of his shoulder pad on the left hand side I've also going to do in red, just to have him stand out being the man in charge, or the woman in charge, whichever is inside. Now, for me, I honestly and genuinely believe one of the biggest tragedies they've done to Armor 40k in recent years is take away this color scheme and then change it over to the white. I genuinely feel that, like, I feel like it's such a boring scheme, the white. It's so uninspired. It's like the lack of color. And there's so many other things in the Warhammer 40k universe that are already white. And their scheme, that tan scheme, was so unique to them. No other army had it or has it. So I thought it was such a cool thing. It really kind of synergized with the army. But I'd also love to know your guys' opinion on that. Do you prefer the white or do you prefer the old traditional tan? Or is there a different sept that you think is the best one? But for me, it'll always be this kind of beautiful scheme here. I actually recently got a Taunar, one of the largest battlesuit equivalent, the giant Forge World. They're basically super heavy. And I will be painting it up in this scheme at some point soon, so stick around for that. Now, I shaded everything I did down there with soft tone from Army Painter. I have started to, and I've noticed that I've been substituting a lot of my shades for the Army Painter shades. The new Fanatic shades are unbelievable, and they remind me a hell of a lot more of the old Games Workshop colors before they kind of re-thin them down, and I'm finding them very good. I'm enjoying them a lot, so take from that what you will. Okay, so I moved back to the Towelite Ochre now, and I've done a layering job on the armor. So obviously I'm not trying to hit all of the, like every nook and cranny. I'm specifically targeting the kind of larger, flatter panels and leaving all the nice recessed detail nice and dark with that original coat and the soft tone in it. This does take a little bit of time. I'm not going to lie to you. It takes maybe, I don't know, half an hour per model to get that first base coat on, which obviously can be a lot of time. If you're doing 5 of these guys, which is what you get in the squad, then we're talking about like 2.5 hours worth of just layering tan. So if you want to go for a simpler, easier scheme, like I said, I've got millions of them on the channel for Tau, so you could check those out. But I want to make these guys pop, and you can let me know at the end of the video whether you think I achieved that or not. Putting it in the comments below. While you're down in the comments, please don't forget to like and make sure you're subscribed. It means a lot to me that you're subscribed. Okay, so once we have that kind of color locked in, we start with the Scrag Brown. What do we do with the Scrag Brown? First things first is we're going to do a pin wash. So we basically just mix it with water until it's about the consistency of like milk. And then we're going to pin wash in all the recesses and cracks with that. This is going to add a little bit of extra definition to the armor panels, a little bit more separation between the armor panels as well. It's not a kind of a giant jump, but it does matter. Next thing, you're going to grab the same color again, but this time you're going to mix it with a glaze medium. Well, that's contrast medium or whatever. I tend to use a Vallejo glaze medium for this. And then we're going to glaze in some of the darker brown color on the lower parts of the armor panel. So basically, I always picture the light source being kind of above the model. So that means that all of this glazing will go kind of where the sun won't hit it. So any like underneath the arms, anywhere where the kind of panels curve in, that's where there's going to be natural shadow. And we're going to hit that with a little bit of this glaze medium. We don't go overboard. We're not going crazy here. Obviously, those kind of steps will matter a lot more in bigger models, but it's okay here. Next, we're doing exactly the same thing, but it's Zemzi Desert and mixed with the same amount of glaze medium. But this time, it's where the sun hits. We're trying to make the armor pop, make it bright and colorful and stand out. And this is where that comes in. So obviously, it's basically all of the other parts of the panels that you didn't hit with the Scrag Brown glaze, you're going to hit with the Zemzi Desert glaze now, if that makes sense. So looking at every panel, there's basically like a split where you're either going to apply some or not. Obviously, this arm pointing upwards has that whole shoulder pad going up to the sky, so that's going to get a nice coat of Zemzi Desert. You can see the arm here. I'm doing the top part of it with the glaze, but the underneath of the arm will have the kind of darker glaze on it. With that done, all we have left to do on the armor is sharpen up some of those details, and for the guide, they recommended a pure white. I'm not sure whether this is the correct choice. It is such a stark jump. I feel like there should be a brighter color. Like Wraithbone maybe have been a bit of a more natural tone to highlight the tan color with. And that may be something I try in the future, but I just wanted to stick to this guide. I think it might have been an old heavy metal guide that I was following here. It seems to be the kind of right steps to make them match the ones that you used to get on box art and stuff, but maybe I'm wrong. But yeah, sharp white, and you're just going to add a little kind of like 5 to 10% of the kind of edge panels of the armor done with this. So any of those sharper points, anywhere where there's like a turn in the armor where it's very easy to put a point, you're just going to do that with that white. From here, we just need to layer up a few other bits and pieces. So for all those red panels, Mephiston Red, Evil Sun Scarlet, Wild Rider, my favorite triad of reds ever. They're so good. They complement each other so well. I'm just going to go in with a quick fire round and get those layered up on those different panels. Obviously, I went in and did things like the eye lenses. All I used was a little bit of black paint to block them in. And then you just choose what eye lens color you want. Pick a mid-tone or a highlight. I use those in the kind of crescent moon shapes, and we've done those in a bunch of videos recently as well. Dot of white in the corner and a bit of glaze to make it pop. And then if there's anything else on the model, this guy could have had a bonding knife. I didn't actually glue it on. So you might have to do a little bit of detail and stuff like that. Some metallics maybe, but I kind of tend to stay away from metallics when it comes to Tau. I feel like all of their equipment and stuff is like a polymer more than it is like any actual metallics. I mean, that's the way it kind of reads to me. So I try and, like I said, stay away from metallics when I'm doing them. Coming in now with a final highlight of red to make it pop. And so far, I'm just really pleased with the final result. I think this model is actually coming together really well. I'm excited to get the other 4 members of the team painted up. Not recently actually, it was a couple of years ago now, I did do a battle suit army for Tau. I did it in this color scheme, but I did it really fast for a battle report that I was doing. So it was basically just like the base coats on. So now that I've kind of got this scheme down, I would be more than happy to kind of go battlesuit team by battlesuit team, adding in all the glazes and the edge highlights to really make them pop. So here he is. Here's the first fully painted new stealth team in the correct color scheme. At least I think so. Let me know in the comments below. And let me know what you think of this style. What do you think of the final result? And yeah, let me know if you're going to try it yourself. Thank you guys so much, as always, for sticking around to the end of the video. I'll see you guys in the next one.